I was really gullible growing up, and I feel like to a certain extent we all were. However, I was worse. Way worse. There's like this memory that's basically ingrained into the back of my skull. I remember like it was 2 seconds ago, alright? It was 8-year-old me stumbling across that real life Freddy Fazbear pizzeria photo. Also the Yelp reviews. Everybody talks about the photos, no one talks about the Yelp reviews. The amount of debating that went over these photos when I was younger, it would put a 9/11 steel beam denier to shame. And if I thought that obviously fake image was real, you can only really imagine the other dumb shit I believed. Fast forward about 10 years, and you know, I'm doing a little bit of reminiscing, taking a stroll through memory lane, we'll say that. And somewhere between falling over a girl in a wheelchair in the 7th grade, and some other stupid stuff I probably did.
Some of my cum I just managed to pour out. Couldn't find any chocolate syrup, but I have some orange soda.
I remember some of the Fnaf theories I used to believe. And I'm just gonna go out there and say this. They're bad. They're really bad. And when I say bad, I'm not talking like, oh, pink guy and purple guy are different people, or even that stupid World War II theory.
So, before I can give any information regarding Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, the viewer must note 2 very important history lessons. The first is that World War II occurred between the years of 1939 and 1945.
No, I'm talking lesbian Chica bad. Okay, not thinking about it, the Nazi one might be worse. It might be worse than lesbian Chica. But you get the point. These are garbage. Also, I forgot to add a disclaimer. I did not believe lesbian Chica or the Nazi theory. I just want to put that out there. I did not believe those. Alright. Theory 1. Phone guy faked his own death. Okay, we're starting off with like a 6 on the spectrum. Psst, I'm gonna be rating each one also. It's bad, but nothing like what we'll see later. So basically, in 2015, a user named Horbin Florbin made a forum post claiming that Phone Guy, the character from Fnaf 1 who checks in on you every night and gets mauled to death on night 4, didn't actually die. Everyone pretty much assumes Phone Guy dies on night 4 because, you know, the screaming and dying noises, but Horbin Florbin is here to tell you that you're wrong. Okay, so first he tells us to look at the night 4 phone call.
Yeah, I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
You got the Foxy banging on the door, Freddy's jingle thing going off, Bonnie and Chica making like weird noises all at once. And that's suspicious to him, since he claims that it's impossible for all these sounds to go off at the same time. Not true at all, by the way. But according to Florbin, this means Phone Guy pre-recorded the call, added all the noises in post, and made himself die to fool everybody. Golden Freddy's death sound also plays during the call, which is weird, since even when this theory came out, we kinda knew he was a hallucination already. We didn't know exactly, but we know he wasn't like real, meaning only the player is supposed to hear it, who we also knew was Mike. So Phone Guy shouldn't even know what that sound was. So Forbin, in his wisdom, combats this idea by claiming that Phone Guy just happened to find something similar online and put it in his tape, and it's just a weird coincidence that's the same one. He later brings up the fact that Phone Guy seems way too relaxed in the audio call, which is like the only semi-sensible point this theory has. Oh, and by the way, he hasn't even told us why Phone Guy would do any of this, but don't worry, he gets there eventually. You see, this isn't just a standalone theory, it's a joint theory. Ooh. Okay, the other idea that is a part of this is that Phone Guy was the killer actually all along, which to be fair was a legitimate idea. And Florbin goes on to connect the dots, so to say. So when he's finally asked the question, why would he do any of this? Florbin reveals his magnum opus. So basically, according to him, it's because Phone Guy was actually the purple guy all along, and he knew the walls were closing in, so he feared the only way to dodge suspicion was to fake his own death and go into the shadows. Never mind that Fnaf 3 kind of debunked this by showing the purple guy alive, and the phone guy being very much not alive. And that's kind of where Horpha Forbin draws a conclusion to this idea. Yes, it's dumb. Yes, it doesn't make any sense. But it was 2015. Theory 2. Elizabeth survived being scooped. I'm gonna give you a little more background on this one since you may not understand what I'm talking about. You probably already do, but I'm still gonna say it. In sister location, we play as Michael. But the events of the game have like nothing to do with this theory right now. Basically on night 3, you can put a code into a keypad and start a mini game, which the community has dubbed the Elizabeth Death mini game, and you'll see why in a second. It basically reenacts the death of Elizabeth, who through audio logs we come to find is William Acton's daughter.
Daddy, let me go to her. Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? Daddy, you let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go?
And what the community and pretty much everyone else sums up from this minigame is that it depicts her getting swallowed whole by one of the animatronics. And for any sane person, that's the end of it. And like, that's clearly how she dies. But in the eyes of this one forum post user, that's just what Scott Cawthon wanted you to think. And she didn't actually die. So according to his theory, that swallowing her didn't actually kill her, and she later managed to survive within the animatronic. And the guy behind the forum post eventually describes how this is even possible. And his answer is that baby only put Elizabeth inside of her stomach. So technically we didn't actually see her kill her. And he goes on to also point out how she could survive on inhaling helium and eating baby's ice cream, which she also both makes. Now, if you're wondering, can you survive on breathing helium? The answer is no. And also sadly, neither can a 9-year-old only eating ice cream for more than like 2 days. And this theory is never explained like what it would mean in terms of the story. And I can't imagine what it would be if this was even real. I don't understand how like someone could type that entire thing out and not just think to Google like their main point of their answer to see if it was like actually possible in the first place. This one was pretty bad. This one was bad. I give this one like a 7.2. This is rough, man. And this is the one you guys have all been waiting for. I know it. You know it. Theory number 3. Toy Chica is a lesbian. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat this in any way. This is terrible. This is god awful. And I don't know how this is even possible. I'm going to pull off the band-aid right now. And we're just gonna jump straight into this. So the logic behind this idea is that apparently the toy animatronics are supposed to be romantic couples of the original Fnaf 1 cast. Yeah. And according to the person behind the theory, who was a big YouTuber at the time, I'm not gonna say who it is, but you can probably look it up. The original Bonnie in this context is the guy, and Toy Bonnie looks girly, so that's a pair. Foxy looks like a guy, and Mango looks girly by his words, so that's also a pair. And on here he also states that Freddy is a guy and Toy Freddy looks girly, which he doesn't. I think he's just making shit up right now, but here it is. And since Chica in the original series was thought to be a girl, and Toy Chica also looks 100% like a girl in FNAF 2, Toy Chica has to be a lesbian. Now you might be thinking this is like a joke. It's not. It's 100% not. He was dead serious about this. Oh my god. And to justify this amazing train of thought, he even suggests that maybe the original Chica was originally designed to be a man, but Scott Cawthon changed it last second so that this whole lesbian couple thing would make sense with Toy Chica. Sadly or unsadly, probably the fucking latter. The original video sadly seems to be gone of the guy like explaining this theory, which thank God. Okay, this was supposed to be a lot longer, but I'm very behind schedule. So I'm gonna end it here. But there's like 2 more I really want to talk about, and I think there's gonna be its own thing. But don't worry, it'll be soon, very soon.